Well, hello. Welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. This is Sandy. I hope you are having a lovely night. It is very cold here. The wind's blowing some, and that makes it colder. And it's snowing, but right now it is. I'm looking on my screen. Well, I should say it's balmy. It's 30 degrees. I thought it felt cold. It's probably the wind that's making it feel cold. Well, Julie, hello. How are ya? Happy New Year to you too. Not for nothing, Ginger. How are ya? I just saw her. She was over with Gail and Heather, and I said hi to her, and she's popped over. So thank you very much for doing that. That's so kind of you. And tonight is going to be a fun topic night because I always like to have a specific topic when I have my live streams. And tonight is starting your seeds in January. What are you going to start? What you're going to look forward to for planting in the springtime? And Madeline, girl, 45 degrees in Florida. So nice, I tell ya. Ginger says, she's doing great. Hope you are well too. We are. And Angie is here. 19 degrees in North Dakota. Yeah, it started snowing probably about 3:30 this afternoon, and Reagan would go back and forth through his doggy door, and depending on how long he stayed out there, he'd come back and there'd be snow all over him, which is totally fun, and that's totally okay. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Ginger, for doing that. So tonight we're going to talk about a topic that I love because I love gardening, and most people I know love gardening. Either they garden in town, they're a homesteader, they live in apartments, but they love plants. And so I thought, let's talk about it before it gets to that point where, oh my gosh, it's too late to start your own seeds. Is it ever really, though? I don't know about that. Most dogs just love the snow. Oh, Reagan. Well, Reagan is a corgi. So, they have 2 layers of fur. And so he sheds like crazy. I mean, every single day you got to sweep the floor or vacuum the floor. But he does love that snow. I mean, he'll literally lay on the ice. And like for hours, if I'd let him, I make him come in and out. Okay, so you guys that are in the chat so far, tell me, have you started any seeds for your garden? Because like I live in zone 4B, which is much colder than a lot of people I know. And so it could be just the perfect time that you're starting your seeds. Do I have seeds started? Yes, I do. I thought I'd show you one. So I just watered them a little bit ago. So I put them in a bowl because I didn't want, I'll lift it up. Look at how those roots are already coming through. They haven't been here in very long. It's crazy. And I'm going to show you in just a little bit a trick that I do with these. Julie says she has a bunch of starts going, up potted a few last week. A few even have gone outside. See, that's fabulous because depending on where you live in the United States, like if I was in Arizona right now, I would have already had things planted in the garden and I would be planting still. It just depends on where you are. If you have a greenhouse or a heated cold frame, you can plant out a lot earlier than you could otherwise. But things that I like to start very early, because remember in Wyoming, we have what I'd really call a short growing season. Anywhere from May 15th to May 30th to sometimes it's the very beginning of September when we get snow. Other times it's great all the way through October. So you never really know about those things. I'm already planting my garden already. I have all the trays washed and getting ready to start some of the ones that take a long time to germinate. Because some seeds do. Some seeds you have to put in your fridge and stratify them for a while before you can actually plant them in the soil. Like I have all kinds of apple seeds and I have plum seeds and I have a bunch of different flowers. There are perennials here, but they have to go through that cold cycle. And so I want to make sure that by January, they're in the refrigerator so that I can plant them in soil when I'm ready to. But one of the things I like to plant in January are onions. Because if you're going to plant them from seed, not a live plant or a set, they take a long time to germinate. Well, I shouldn't say germinate. They take a long time to get to the point where you can plant them outside. What about leeks? They're in the same family, works exactly the same way. I already have my garlics all in the soil. I did that in, I think I did that in November when I planted those all in November. Any kind of cool weather plant, you know, any of your cabbage, broccolis, cauliflowers. These ones are broccolis. Let me show you what I do. Okay, so a lot of us use, you know, 6 or 8 or 12 tray cells, right? Well, if you have a packet of seeds that is getting a little bit older and your germination rate may not be as much, you can always plant extra. Well, I only need 1 in each cell. So the other ones, I can just cut for microgreens. And then what I do is, this is a toilet paper roll. I just cut it in half. This cell, I will cut all the ones around it and just leave 1. And then I'll just slip it over top and fill it with dirt. And then I have more soil. And so more roots. And it's an easy trick. And who doesn't have toilet paper rolls? Seriously, why throw them in the landfill when you can do something with them? Do I have any experience with persimmon seeds and growing? I have not grown a persimmon. So I don't. I could ask around though, Ginger, to see if some of my friends have done it from seed. Because I don't know if a persimmon is a true seed, you know, like an apple seed is not true. It's going to take combinations of both parents and it's going to give you an apple, but you're not necessarily going to get the same kind of apple as the parents. And so that, let me find out. I am going to write that down and I'll ask some people and I'll send you a note. Julie says, my celery and parsley is already going because I have some celery growing too. It takes, it probably took, it's just starting to come up through the soil. It probably took 3 days, 4 days, but I do like to soak my seeds and that can make a difference. Parsley, any kind of herb actually you could start growing from seed right now too. I can put them out in about a month, direct sow some turnips and beets, and the first round of chard has taken off. Oh, I do love Swiss chard. And so if you're somebody that wants to plant your seeds and your weather is too cold right now, plant it inside. You can put it, of course, in a windowsill, like a southern exposure, so it has a lot of light. But I like using, well, I do have several grow lights that are made for that, for the seedlings. But I have used shop lights multiple times, every single year. And I usually put a cool tube and a warm tube in there. And it just works out so fabulous. It's a good time if you are planting houseplants from seeds or cuttings to do it right now. I have some African violets. I did a short the other day. I had cut leaves off and I put them in a clamshell and they're sending out little babies now. So I'll let them grow in the clamshell for a little bit longer and then I'll put them in pots. So I can have more African violets. Or I can give some of them away. I like to do that. The other thing that January is a perfect time to sow seeds for is your perennial flowers. Because if you want to plant out the size of snapdragons that you would get in a nursery, you need to be planting them now. And it will just save you so much money. It's just astronomical the amount of money you can save. And then you can start giving seeds away. People will give you seeds, and you get this whole combination of varieties, which is just fabulous. But like you could do sweet peas, petunias, daffodils. No, not daffodils. I don't know why I said that. I meant delphiniums, echinacea, any of those columbines, any of those ones that are gonna take a while, not only to start to grow, but you want them fairly, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches tall by the time you actually plant them in the spring, after you've hardened them off. Oh, and Gail is here. Gail, I was just watching her live. She had a live with Heather. That's so sweet of you to come over. And Gail, we're talking about seeds we're starting right now. And now Gail is much warmer than I am, though she did say it was cold at her house today. But you can start seeds now, like onions, your cabbages, any of your brassicas, turnips, beets inside. Now, Julie, her weather, she can literally plant those cool weather plants outside, those seeds right now, which is fabulous. And if I was in Arizona right now, we'll probably leave for Arizona next week. So some things I'm taking, some plants I'm taking with me, some friends are babysitting. It's just, you just got to do what you got to do. And from little Frenchie in Big Texas, and I mailed the girls his hats yesterday. So I suppose they'll be there in just a couple days. Godzilla, hello, how are ya? Stella, how are ya? Julie says, I did start broccoli inside, but was able to put it out at 4 inches. Excellent. Instead of waiting for it to get big. Well, one of the things, like, when you plant extra ones and you don't need that many, but this packet I had was getting a little old. I'd had them for a lot of years. And so I did put extra ones in there, and you can always take that whole cell out and rinse it under some water and repot all of them. But I've been just cutting these and eating them as microgreens. You can put them on your salads, in your sandwiches, all kinds of stuff. And then can you see how I only, on that cell, there's only that one left, and you can see that how I filled that half a toilet paper roll up with dirt. And then I watered it well. So it just works fantastically. Madeline, hello. It's really cold here for the next 10 days, teens and 20s. But I am starting seeds inside very soon. See, awesome. I find it very rewarding when those seeds start coming through the soil. I do. I should have brought in my my castor beans that I started. And the other day they finally, they were coming out of the soil, and then they were coming back in. And I knew there had to be a leaf down in that dirt. Right. And I watched, and it had a little cap on top. And the other morning I woke up and they had pushed themselves up. So I take that cap off of them, and they were like 4 inches tall. And the leaves opened up, and at first the leaves were kind of weird brown, but now they're green. So that was kind of crazy. But it was just like so rewarding to watch that miracle of that seed, and it comes up and it opens up. It was just so exciting. Anne says, oh, thank you very much for the hats. Yep, you betcha. They're similar, and I think the girls will like them. I hope they will anyway. What is my favorite seed starting mix? Oh, see, that just segues into what I was going to talk about next. Perfect timing, Ginger. And Angie says she loves her castor beans. If you guys have never planted castor beans, one, it's amazing transformation, but it makes this beautiful plant, and these little red flower bulb things on top. Everything is poisonous. if you have a dog that chews on stuff, chews on your plants, you don't want to grow that in your yard. Okay. Though somebody told me the other day that they have planted castor beans over and over, and every time they come up, the cats dig them up. And I won't say who that is, but I don't know what it would be about the castor beans that the cats like them. That is kind of weird to me. Okay. Soil mix. I think you can use a lot of different things in a soil mix. Now, some people say that you should have a soilless mix, doesn't have any nutrients in it. And that's what you should start your seeds in. And I've tried that multiple times. I have not liked that. I think if I'm busy and I'm not right on it, once those true leaves come out and you're not giving them any nutrients, that plant suffers for the rest of its life. So what I like to do is I just like to use some kind of potting mix. If it has too much pieces of wood in it, you can always send it through a sifter. And then I want to put in, so say I have a pound of potting soil. I want to put a half a pound of vermiculite in there, or perlite. I just happen to like vermiculite better than perlite, though sometimes I use both. And then I just mix it all up. I make sure I get it moist. I don't want it soggy. I don't want it dripping. And then I'll just fill my cells or my trays or my egg cartons or whatever I'm using, my clamshells or whatever I'm using. I want to make sure I'm seeing a lot of vermiculite in there. Because what vermiculite does is it holds a lot of moisture, but it also releases the moisture. If those roots are by a piece of vermiculite, the roots can take the moisture out of the vermiculite, where that's not really as true with perlite. It just isn't as true. And so I just like vermiculite better. But every gardener is going to do what they want to do. Do some tests on your own. Have some flats, some trays that have perlite in your soil and vermiculite in your soil, and have some of the same seeds and see what you think, what it does, what benefit you have. Before I forget, I'm giving away 2 hearts. 2 hearts. They're magnets. They're fused glass. So do not let me get done with this and not have given these away. Because one night I was doing a live, I said I was going to give some stuff away, and I got off my live and I thought, well, crap, I forgot to give that stuff away. So when it gets to 20 after, somebody will just tell me, hey, 2 doves, bees, and gardens, how are you two? Hello, hello, hello. Ginger says, I'm so glad you said that. I have used perlite before and very little vermiculite. I'm going to try your method. I just have, over the years, I have just found it just works better. A lot of times when I put my soil in, my cells, especially if the seeds are small, I will just sprinkle the seeds on that soil, and then I'll sprinkle vermiculite and press it down, because you have to have really good contact with the soil. Otherwise, there's too much airspace in there. And even if they're moist at first, the seed is moist at first, it can literally die because it will dry out because of that airspace. So you just press it down with your fingers. And if you can water from below, I think it can be better. If you can't, you just have to be more careful when you're watering. That's all there is to it. Oh, good. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. I always like that. When you put it in your cells or your whatever container you're using when you're starting your seeds, you either have to put some kind of dome on top of it, or you need to put, you can use clear plastic bags, just so that it holds that humidity for a while, because you don't want those tiny seeds, when they're breaking out of their shell, the coating, to dry out, because they'll just die. That's all there is to it. There are tricks. Like when I'm in my garden and I'm planting carrots. Now, carrots take longer to germinate than most things. But what I have found is if I have my area where I'm going to plant my carrots, I sprinkle my carrots out there. I put let's go back. First, I'm going to water, right? I want the soil moist. Then I'm sprinkling my carrots. I put a little layer of soil on top of it. And then I put aluminum foil down. I'll hold aluminum foil with wood or rocks. I know it sounds crazy. But I don't know if it's something with it holding the moisture in there or the heat retention at night because of the aluminum foil. But those carrots will germinate so much faster than if it just has soil on top of it. I mean, I've seen people put newspapers or cardboard on top, and I've tried those, but still aluminum foil is faster. And I think it has to be that, it reflects that sun and it gets that soil warm, but it's not letting the moisture get out. And then it stays warm at night. And I think that's what's doing it, which I find crazy. We use potting mix and then a layer of vermiculite on top. It does help with the fungus gnats because I think that most soils that you buy in a bag are going to have fungus gnats in. And I think it just happens. I just think that's just the way it is. Now, some are worse than other ones, but the vermiculite, he's right. It just helps that they can't burrow down. Well, the vermiculite will stay moist. And gnats don't want that. They want to be able to burrow down, lay eggs, come back up. So it just helps it. So, let's give a heart away. Okay, let's give the red one away. Okay, this one has the most red. Those shiny parts are called dichroic glass. It has a magnet so you can put it on your fridge, or like I have a bulletin board that has the days of the week and I write everything that's happening. And so it will stick onto that. But I just think they're cute. So let me type in the little thing so that Nightbot will pick a winner. Okay, so Nightbot will pick. If I don't have your address, you'll have to send it to me and I'll show you my email in just a minute. Okay, Nightbot. Pick a winner. And the winner is, Angie, you are the winner. So I will send that to you. Yay. They're just so much fun. I've been actually making a whole bunch of these. And my new magnets came in today and they were the wrong size. So I had to order other ones. So we're going to do this one too so I don't forget while I'm talking. So this one, it does have a little bit of dichroic, but it has a lot of colors in there. So let's have Nightbot pick a winner. Because I only want to stay on a half hour because you guys are busy. I'm busy. So let's see who our winner of this one is. They both have the same kind of magnet on the back. It is pretty strong because the glass is a little heavy. I'm pulling a little string of glue off there. And the winner is Not For Nothing Homestead. Ginger, you are the winner. Yay. Okay, so Ginger, I am not sure I have your address. I have Angie's address. So I'm going to put this up. And that way you can just send me your address and I'll mail that out tomorrow for you. So congratulations. Well, that was fun. Now, the other thing we have to talk about when we're starting seeds is how deep to plant your seeds. And, I've taught a lot of master gardener classes. Oh, Angie says she can pick somebody else. Probably because she knows she can have one anytime she wants to. Oh, okay. That's so nice of you, Ange. Okay, so just a minute. Let me type, and we'll see. You know, if you write channel, it will give your link, and so people can go to your channel. Okay. Okay, and Nightbot will pick a winner again. Oh, little Frenchie in Big Texas. It says, it does not subscribe to your channel. Yeah, hello. She's only subscribed to my channel for I don't know how long. Yeah, see how she wrote channel and then Nightbot puts up her channel. So Anne, I will send that to you. Cool, that was exciting. Okay, so we're talking about how deep to plant your seeds, or do you put them on top? What do you do? And that's where you have to maybe sometimes do a little research. Not always when you get a packet, especially if somebody gives you some seeds, it doesn't have the directions on doing it. Now, some seeds need light to germinate. And so those ones you're just going to put on the soil, press them down so it has contact. When I do that, I have a bottle that sprays, spray gun. That's what I wanted to say, but it's a spray bottle. And I just spray it so that it's all moist. You do have to watch it because you don't want those to dry out. If you have to plant it in the soil, when they start to get a little bit bigger, that's when it's great to put the seeds on the soil and put the vermiculite on top. Press it down so it has good contact. If you have a bigger seed, right? So say you have a bean seed, you know, and a bean seed is about that long. And it says to plant it twice as deep as the width. Now, when I've taught Master Gardener classes, a lot of times they think the width is like the circumference around it. You know, it's the skinny part, not this part. But really, a bean seed should be about 1 inch deep. And a lot of people lately in their gardens have told me that their seeds have failed when they're planting beans, or they'd have to plant them 3 or 4 times before they'd actually come up. And I've wondered if maybe they're planting them too shallow and it's drying up too fast. My other theory with beans, and some of you guys that have been gardeners for a long time, weigh in the chat. I kind of have a hypothesis that because beans, they actually don't like nitrogen, or not an overabundance of nitrogen, I should say. It's not like they don't like nitrogen, but if your soil gets too much nitrogen, because it seems like most gardeners just want to put fertilizer all over the place. They just want a lot. They think their plants will grow. Oh, my plant's not growing. It needs some more fertilizer. It's not necessarily that they need more fertilizer. Your soil can get saturated to a point that there's too much nitrogen, too much NKP. It's just too much of it. And your soil actually can become almost toxic to your plants. And I'm wondering if that is maybe part of the problem with the bean seeds, because I mean, it's not just a few people, and not just a few people in Wyoming. It's people all over the country that are telling me, now, could this bean seeds just be bad? Yes. But I think sometimes you're better off like a bean seed, or like Ginger's saying that her squash seeds have been a problem the last 2 years. I wonder if I've planted them too shallow. And honestly, like when I plant my squash seeds or my pumpkin seeds, I kind of build the soil up so it's kind of more of a mound. And I bet you I push them in 2 inches. Because once it's a mound, that top part is going to dry out way faster than the bottom part. And for a certain amount of time, there's not any roots down there. And so I think we're so afraid that we're planting them too deep that we're just doing it too shallow, and we're not keeping the soil moist enough on top. If you could keep it moist enough, you probably won't have a problem. But the sun comes out and it's like, oh my gosh. They're a nitrogen fixer, but so many times as gardeners, we just think, oh my gosh, just put some more fertilizer on there. That's not necessarily what you need. Have you done a soil test lately? And do you know how to do a soil test? Because most extension offices will send the soil test in for you. You can go and you can get all the information, sign up for it. They'll give you a little bag that you're going to put the soil in. Well, how do you decide what soil you're using out of your whole great big garden? Well, the idea is that you put it, this like a spade. So a flat shovel, you're going to put the spade in at an angle. You're going to lift that spade forward a little bit, and you're going to grab that soil on that back side, put it in a bucket. You're going to do that 12 times, 10 to 12 times. You're going to mix it all up. If the soil is wet, you're going to lay it on your table and you're going to let it dry. Then put it all back in the bucket, mix it up, and you only need 2 cups. And that's what you're going to send in for your soil test. So you're going to take that dry soil, put it in the bag, seal it up. You're going to have your form already. You're going to take it back to the extension office, or if you're taking it to a private company that's going to do it, or you're going to mail it in. Because one, if it's wet, it will get yucky by the time it gets processed. You need it to be dry. And then you can, on a soil test, a lot of times when you're filling out the paperwork, you might tell them things like, my soil seems to do this. My plants seem to turn yellow at a certain point. Just give them some clues about your soil. And then when it comes back, if you don't understand what that sheet is telling you, ask your horticulturist at the extension office to go through your report so that you know what you need to do. It doesn't even hurt to say, okay, I'm going to do a variety of vegetables in this area. Or if the only thing you're going to do is pumpkins in that area, you want to tell them that. And it will help them when they give you your report. Ginger says that she did mound and plant my patty pans last year, and they did fantastic. I will mound my squash this year. I think mounding any kind of squashes or pumpkins can be real helpful, especially when they start sending those roots down, because in the middle of that mound, it stays real moist. And I think it just helps it. And then they spread those roots all over the place. The other thing I like to do is when it starts to vine all out, you can cover parts of those vines with soil and they will send roots down so that you have even more roots. We've done several soil tests. We have a great story about it. We sent the same soil to 2 different labs and got 2 very different results. Crazy. That's totally crazy. Were they testing for different things, or were they testing for exactly the same things? Because depending on the lab that does it, they can test for different things. So, but that's an interesting thing that is completely different. Yeah. And you gathered it all together, and so you mixed it and everything, and then just divided it into the 2 bags. So interesting. That is crazy. Okay. Well, we're at 34 minutes. I appreciate you guys coming in. Try my little toilet paper roll. Let me take this one down first. Okay. So here is mine is an 8-pack because you water in the center. And all these extra ones I'm going to cut off. I'm going to use them in my salads for microgreens. And then only 1 plant is going to be left in there. And you get so many roots. It's just crazy. So that's my hint for the day. Save your toilet paper rolls. Another thing these are really good for, if you have problems with cutworms, and you got your beans coming up, and all of a sudden you come out and it's completely eaten off. You can just slide this when the bean starts coming up. You can just slide it over top of it, and it will stop that cutworm from doing that. I just kind of work it in the soil a little bit. I never throw away toilet paper rolls. And you can have your friends change or save them for you, because they will. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Every week until Valentine's Day on Wednesday night, I'm giving away 2 hearts. Next week, they have a whole bunch of different colors in them. So I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time.